time for the serious part of breakfast. Look at this. What's wrong with it? Can you see? Well, Education Secretary Nicky Morgan says that all children should be able to spot mistakes like this by the time they're 11 and know how to spell and use punctuation properly.
There we are. The red felt tip pen has come in and it's been corrected. Most people probably knew that one, but not everyone agrees with whether or not it is important to get your grammar correct. Have I said that correctly?
Some people say it doesn't really matter. Is it important to know how to use grammar correctly? We've been testing out your knowledge. I didn't hear you.
My dog's kennel is green.
Right. Well, it's got to mean my dog, his kennel is green. Definitely important. I like proper grammar. I get quite cross over grammar.
Oh my God, what is it?
The S comes after the apostrophes and it's relating to the dog's kennel. It's very easy to learn. We learn it since the 5th grade in Portugal.
My dog's is kennel, and then that'd be dog's is.
Dog apostrophe S.
It's that. My dog's kennel is green.
That's correct for one dog. I'm a former teacher, and essays and the like are unintelligible if not grammatically correct.
Am I wrong? That's right, isn't it? No!
Which one?
We were so sure.
Those apostrophes, they can get you every time.
Yeah.
With us now is Craig Shrives, who's an author and a self-confessed grammar pedant, and Terry Victor, a language enthusiast.
Fair.
That's fair. And also quite dismissive, is that fair to say, of the necessity to always be grammatically correct?
Yes. I don't think you always need to be grammatically correct. I deal a lot with slang in my work. And when you speak to each other, the purpose of language is just to communicate. That's all we're doing now. And if I've made grammatical mistakes, it's only the people judging me from outside. And I don't think that absolutely matters. There's this sense of a grammarian supremacist who says, you must speak that because I'm better than you. They're not. There's a set of rules. Now, the major thing that's put up against this is the job letter. If you don't write your job letter properly and put your apostrophes in the right place, you won't get the job. Well, if you wanted to be a florist and you didn't research flowers before you wrote that job letter, you wouldn't get the job. You do everything correctly to get a particular job. But you speak 2-3 languages. You speak the language on air, you speak the language in the editorial room backstage, and then you speak a different language to your family. We all do that. We all have that facility. And I just don't think that people should be judged for the way they communicate if their intention to communicate is understood.
So, Craig, how do you balance up? And maybe a lot of people will recognise that there are different ways you speak or write according to what you're doing. These days, of course, you'd think of the social media and how you might write there as compared with how you might write in a formal exam.
That's right. It's all about knowing your audience and what your audience expects. And if you're, and there's more to writing and speaking than just communicating your message. With that also goes a little message about your intelligence as well. And if you're writing to an audience that expects you to show a good level of grammar, then you need to be showing that good level of grammar. Otherwise, it's going to kill you.
Yeah, always fascinated by examples. Have you got a bugbear? Have you got something that bothers you? That you see routinely or hear routinely, something that...
Well, I suppose the most common ones are apostrophe ones, just its and its. I mean, the big confusion there is that the contraction its always stands for it is or it has. It cannot stand for anything else.
Do you know
It was.
Well,
It can't stand for what was. It can't stand for anything else. And the point is the apostrophe looks like it's possessive. So you can understand why people make that mistake. But it's actually a howler, and something like that can sink you.
Another one, and this is how it moves over into language. Albertina has emailed us saying her pet case is would/could of instead of would have, could have. Now, on paper, perhaps you may say it doesn't matter as long as you're communicating correctly, but if you say would have instead of would have, it sounds bad.
It's not when you say it, because that really is would have has become would have from would of. You can see where the difference is. In writing, you recognise where it's wrong. That's a matter of education, and if you're going to do the job of writing and expressing yourself clearly, you would write would have. Unless you're in a circle that expects you to write would of, because it's the dialect of that circle. And those people are the experts in that version of the language. Everybody watching, everybody speaking English is an expert in their version of English, and we shouldn't judge.
It's been absolutely lovely to have the pair of you sitting on our sofa this morning.
Not having sat on the sofa.
Not sat on our sofa, but sitting on our sofa.
Which is your common one?
I sat down, I enjoyed it.
The thing about poor grammar is that there's a thing called the devil effect. And what the devil effect is, it's when a bad trait permeates across everything that you do. So if you turn up showing bad grammar, then something else, not related, will look bad.
And this morning we've done our bit to try and help. Thank you very much.
Craig, Victor, thank you. That's all from Breakfast tomorrow. This morning, we'll be back on BBC One tomorrow from 6 o'clock. Do have a lovely day.
Bye-bye.